Hi, this is Mark Collins at Highly Capitalized. I'm here with Big Mike from Advanced Nutrients and Dieter Behrentin from Behrentin Communications in Germany. Here today, we're going to be talking about the latest developments in Germany and in Europe. And we're delighted to have both an American company who's very active and successful in Europe with Advanced Nutrients and Big Mike's team, and also Dieter, who certainly I've been following assiduously over the years to give me all the insights into the latest developments in cannabis and in hemp in Germany. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dieter to introduce himself to the Highly Capitalized Network audiences.
Thanks for having me on the show. Well, my name is Dieter Behrentin. I'm running a communication agency here in Germany, and I'm in a cannabis business for the past 7 years now. I organized events in 2022. I started with a CBD trade show, and I'm working in two areas. I call one area is called hemp. It's about cannabis. Everything was related to cannabis, medical cannabis or CBD. And the other part is I focus on hemp, especially on hemp and the bioeconomy, because this topic is really not getting as much attention as it, in my view, should be, because I see there's a massive market building up in the background, because everybody's talking about cannabis and getting medical cannabis, getting high and all this stuff. But in my view, this market is like cannabis is like 5% of the entire potential that hemp or the plant has to offer on. That is why I'm pushing right now on a project which takes hemp into the spotlight of the industry outside the cannabis industry. So I'm talking to municipalities, I'm talking to governments, and to universities. That is what I'm doing right now. And of course, following all the craziness and the building up of the cannabis market here in Germany. That's also, of course, on my radar.
Well, thank you so much for joining Inside Cultivation here today with Big Mike at Advanced Nutrients. And Big Mike, tell us a little bit about you and your company in Europe. I know from speaking to other Europeans like Dieter that they really like the fact that you put the science into the heart of all of your products in Europe. And you also have a facility in Barcelona too.
Yes,
please tell us a little bit about how an American company who's famous in North America for your nutrients is succeeding in Europe.
Great to be on the show, Mark. Yes, absolutely. Look, been in cannabis for 41 years. Advanced Nutrients has 25-year-old year-old company. I like to say we're in cannabis before it was cool, and we study all aspects of the plant. During the dark ages, as I call it, there's only 3 people that had licenses to study cannabis. That was Tikkun Olam in Israel, and then there was GW Pharmaceutical in UK, and Advanced Nutrients in Sofia, Bulgaria, where you're working with the Sofia Technical Institute and unlocking the secrets of the plant when it came to certain things for the medical side of the industry. But also we acquired Tesoro Genetics, which was a hemp genetics company 3 years ago. So we're also realized that cannabis isn't just about the medical side. There's actually a larger opportunity in the hemp side, because it's a great carbon sink. It's a great soil remediation plant, plus fiber, protein, biofuel. The list goes on and on and on. And so we've always believed in science. One of the things, we're big supporters of CanMed. It is actually where all the brightest minds in cannabis meet every single year, and we learned quite a bit. We learned from University of Wisconsin. The Badger line now has a cannabis plant, 0 THC, 0 CBD, which is perfect for the cultivation of a circular bioeconomy, what Dieter's a big proponent of. And my big question to you, Dieter, is like, how is that all going in Germany? How receptive is Germany to it? Because Germans, they're into science. They're pretty conservative, but they're also, curious and open to other avenues of revenue. So How's that going for you?
You can imagine right now, Germany is right now a really crazy place because every market is like going through the roof. No? So it's really hard to follow all the activities. And so that my biggest issue was finding a niche or finding something that you can focus on, that you can have kind of relate on. What you see right now is the cannabis market for recreational use is going just through the roof. No? You see the medical market is we are in the medical market since April 1st, no? And you see the numbers tripled within 2 months. No? It's just craziness. No? At the same time, which is a market that builds up let's put it in the background somehow, and nobody really notices it from the cannabis scene. But outside the cannabis scene, there's hemp in the bioeconomy. Germany is like a country that puts every energy into getting greener and getting innovative and find ways. And all of a sudden, in my view, they understood that hemp has a huge potential in the bioeconomy. No? That's why in the beginning of the year, the German government, for the first time, they actually announced the funding for a hemp company, no? For a hemp science project that is connected to hemp in the bioeconomy. No? So in all this madness going on, I'm building a concept which is promoting the topic of hemp in the bioeconomy. Because we are kind of in a pioneer position right now. That's why I'm building up this concept and push it. I'm pushing it to the government. I'm pushing it to municipalities, to universities. And on the other hand, of course, you have the recreational market. But in my view, it is easier for me to work in a hemp in a bioeconomy market because you have rules. You have it is more regulated, and it's way easier to understand and quicker to move on.
You're saying it's actually easier to work in the hemp industrial hemp economy than it is in the because it's more regulated. Could you just could you explain that, how that works?
Yeah, because in Germany it's allowed like to grow industrial hemp. The only thing farmers have to do is to send. They have to send 1 year before to the government some papers, what kind of strain they are growing. But to grow industrial hemp, it's legal. You can do it. If you are a farmer, you can do it. People didn't understand really what the power that's behind it. That is what is unnoticed. And I'm one of my partners is a university in Aachen, which is a big known university. And we had a meeting in January, and I was so surprised that they could tell me so much stuff about different plants and then like exotic plants, but they couldn't really tell me why hemp is not on their list. And surprisingly, I told them, why is hemp not on your list?
This is really interesting because what I noticed, and Big Mike has been, at the front lines of this, is that when the hemp industry with the 2018 Farm Bill first happened, people also, like you say, Dieter, they didn't know what the applications could be. But more than that, and this is what my question to Big Mike, there was no infrastructure, right, Big Mike?
United States, I had farmers come up to me, Big Mike, let's get together. I have 400,000 acres. We can grow hemp. I said, that's great. There's not even enough seeds to plant for the 400,000 acres. And what are you going to do when you harvest it? Because the equipment hasn't been built. Hemp Flax out of the Netherlands has built a special combine to harvest it. I guess John Deere and International Harvester are now looking at that to make those units. But one of the interesting things is Germany has been using hemp for probably about almost 20 years in the body parts of Audi and
Oh, wow.
BMW and
Yeah.
Mercedes. Hemp flax infuses hemp fibers into the plastic molding for the dashboards and of the door panels, and they won't allow hemp flax to talk about it. Now, here's the thing: gives them a very competitive edge. It's almost as strong as carbon fiber at a fifth of the price. And so, hopefully, let's say these car companies will come out of the closet, behind the curtain, whatever you want to call it, because it would give it would give a very big boost of credibility to the hemp industry in Germany, and they could really get things going there, because hemp, as Dieter knows, is very, very. It's not just. It's 10,000 different things that you can do with it. And a bio hemp, a circular economy that Dieter's been proposing, would be a big money machine for Germany if done properly.
Wow. So
Yeah.
Dieter, how about that? I mean, the infrastructure doesn't exist for the hemp industry, as well as the fact, as you say, people don't understand the as Big Mike called it, the 10,000 applications. So what comments do you have about creating the infrastructure to process the hemp into Levi jeans or into things other than the car manufacturers already doing it? But what do you think about the infrastructure that is there in Germany?
Well, yeah, that is the issue is infrastructure, but that is what I do with my project. The Hemp Innovation Hub is just introducing the ideas, introducing startup companies, and introducing how easy it is to build infrastructure. We are based here in a region close to Belgium, and as Big Mike said, like in Holland, we have all the machines that you need for harvesting hemp, because there's even bigger markets behind it, because you need the machines to harvest it. We have Belgium, which has a long tradition with growing hemp. So I got calls from a community with about 100 farmers. They asked me, we want to start grow hemp again. So to get the infrastructure is, the biggest issue is get the farmers to grow hemp. This is in a stage where what I'm doing now. I'm talking to loads of farmers, to associations, and the first feedback is we get them. So I'm sure I get them to grow hemp, because we deliver them with guarantees that if they grow hemp, we buy it. That is what we do in order to give them an attraction, or if
A guarantee, almost. You're
Yes.
almost guaranteeing them some income so that they could take the risk of growing it, right?
That is what you have to do. Yeah.
Do you ever see that in America or Canada, Big Mike, that the government would incentivize the farmers to grow?
I hope they haven't done that yet. I hope they do. And they're subsidize it for a while, or we put up some low interest loans for farmers to get it going, because it is a great soil remediation crop as well. So they can put it into crop rotation, and farmers all over the world will benefit. It's going to be over $1 trillion industry 20 years from now.
Wow.
And that's what these government officials. As soon as you see cannabis, they start thinking about a bunch of hippies getting high, and it's not about that. It's a plant that adds value to the economy in ways that they couldn't even imagine.
Yes.
And we need to get back on track. America was growing hemp for World War II and all kinds of things. It was doing very, very well. And then all of a sudden, the laws came in and changed all that. And, all of a sudden cotton became a thing. Well, Levi's jeans, when they first started, they were made out of hemp. They wore like iron. You couldn't wear that down. Right now, China is probably the largest hemp producer in the world, and all the uniforms for their military are made for hemp. Now, I don't want to go down a military thing, but it just shows that it wears hard and it's a valuable crop, and it needs to be looking at as a sustainable, valuable crop to help humanity.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful, Mike. And I really am inspired by the $1 trillion idea. It is, if you think about all the applications it could be. So Dieter, let's finalize our great chat here. And share with us the future, what the future holds for the cannabis industry and the hemp industry in Germany, and what are your future plans?
Well, we are in the beginning. No? We have like we are since April we have a law. No? So you see still a wild west going on, but it's like developing into the right directions. No? So within the next 12 months, I'm sure you're going to see a split between medical cannabis, recreational cannabis, and hemp. Which right now you have like a mess. Like everybody, no, it's like craziness. No? I went to Berlin last week, no? And actually, you could see this market is just going to the roof, and everybody's looking for its markets, kind of. No? So it will take another 12 months, but the industry will develop, they will grow, no? Because there's massive potential in all areas of markets. No? Medical market, you have loads of potential. You have massive potential in the recreational market, and again, you have massive potential on hemp. So you're going to see a really development process. No? I'm sure there will be new companies moving into the market. Some companies will leave, no? But that is part of the developing of. That is normal, and it is highly needed in my view. So you have still some wild west guys walking around, and you have potential new companies who are gonna move in. So that is what the industry needs, and that is what you see in Germany in the next 12 months. And at the same time, I'm sure Germany started a chain reaction, because companies around us, they will connect to this new markets. They will. The law in Germany is pretty smart in my view. Everybody's complaining about the cannabis law in Germany, but I think the government did an amazing job, because they split it in two soils, and the industry needs this split in order to develop into a serious market. Right now, you have still kind of black market, which is legal, but we need to grow. Companies need to find real structures, and that is what we're going to see in the next 12 months. So whoever is playing in the cannabis markets or hemp market, they will have a really nice time in the next coming years. So that's pretty sure.
In the hemp market, there's all kinds of rare cannabinoids that are being produced in hemp that can be extracted for pharmaceutical use as well. And that there's a huge, huge opportunity there as well.
Wow. So Big Mike, what's your outlook for not just Germany, but I know you have a facility in Barcelona that's very active now in supporting the emerging market in Europe. But what advice would you give to cultivators who need some direction? And talk about your new the relationship you have with the University of Wisconsin too.
We have a lot of relationships through CanMed is where we develop those relationships. Our Rolodex is huge because of that. Look, we have fertilizer for hemp. We realize we don't want to raise the THC level. We understand how to do that. And so hemp's going to need very specific types of fertilizer for whatever application that you're looking for, whether it's for fiber, whether it's for protein production, or it's, or CBD production, right? And so there's different parameters of fertilizer protocols that you can put together. It's a science. There's science behind what we do. Just ag fertilizer alone will not work. One of the things about cannabis, it doesn't like phosphorus, which is an anion. It likes a cation-rich mix because you want the rhizosphere to be acidic. If you have, let's say, a lot of phosphorus, the plant will take it up because it's an accumulator plant, but it will then produce a substance in the rhizosphere that will make it alkaline, which is counterproductive to the yield of whatever it is that you're growing, whether it's for fiber, whether it's for seed production, or some kind of rare cannabinoid production. And by manipulating the different inputs and biostimulants, you can also manipulate the plant to produce what you want. And we understand that part of the equation.
That's an amazing application of the science, as you said, with all of the work you've done over the years with CanMed. And In fact, that's of course, Big Mike, where you and I met was at
Right.
the
Yeah, that's right, this year. Yeah.
And Dieter, tell us where can our audiences find out more about Dieter Behrentin and Behrentin Communications? Could you give us your where people could contact you? I know you're on LinkedIn. You're very active on LinkedIn, but perhaps where else can people contact you?
If you are in Germany, you can visit our live hub. We call it. We have a presentation area of 6,000 square meter where we grow hemp for this year in cooperation with the university. So go on our website, www.behrentin.com. You get our details. We are based down here near Cologne and in Berlin. So we have two offices. But I'm more based here in the west, close to the Belgian border, because to keep an eye on my new live hub presentation slot, which needs loads of work right now. But anytime you are in Germany or on some conferences, I'm sure you're going to see us there. Also, loads of conferences coming up now in Germany.
Wonderful. So Behrentin.com to find Dieter Behrentin and find him also on LinkedIn. And Big Mike, what's the best way for people to reach you?
AdvancedNutrients.com. That'll get you started.
Thank you so much, guys, for this episode of Inside Cultivation featuring all the latest developments in Germany. Thanks once again to Big Mike, and of course, thanks to Dieter at Behrentin Communications.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.